we talk about what happens now, not only on the inauguration on Friday, but afterwards. And you're quite right to say that's when the business of governing returns and things have to get done. Do you think it can? We go from very extreme divisions here where neither party talks to the other. Republicans are salivating at the opportunity to give back or throw back in the face of Democrats the kind of non-participation that was thrown at them by when they were in the minority. Do you think we can overcome that, or is this just going to be the way it is?
Let's say, no, I think that we have got to change. For one thing, the Affordable Care Act in the states that did not use it hurt more poor white people than it did black people or middle class.
But you will acknowledge it has to be fixed, right?
It has to be fixed because it has never been tried. I would say my suggestion would be let Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia had $14.9 billion sitting on the sideline that they would not spend on the health care clinics in rural Georgia. Atlanta did all right. Atlanta had private money coming in to a wonderful set of hospitals. But it was the small towns and rural areas that really suffered. Let them get some of this affordable care money and then make the changes. But it could not work with 22 states not signed up. Let's sign up to 22 states and then adjust it any way you want to adjust it. But don't exclude the people who voted for you. And that's what's happening. We sold poor white people the fact that we wanted to take their guns. The young man who was found guilty in South Carolina didn't need a gun. He needed mental health care. And he needed somebody to screen him and advise him and counsel him. And before we got race and guns into this, whether it was Columbine or Sandy Hook or the bombing of the park here in Atlanta at the Olympics and the blowing up of the post office in Oklahoma, none of those had anything to do with race. None of them had anything to do with guns. And I think we need to get away from our ideology. Let's look at the facts and let's deal with the facts. And we'll probably find that when we're dealing with the facts, rather than the symbols, this country always finds a way to stay together. We might go to the brink.
Yeah. And
I'm old enough now to have been to the brink many, many times. We've never gone over. We will not go over now. And, you know, I knew President-elect Trump over dinner. And when Maya Angelou had her birthday party, and he was a perfect gentleman. And that was a celebration down at his place where probably 2/3 of the people happened to be African Americans. But there was nothing, you know, there were no labels. There were people acted like great Americans, and I think that we have to pull the greatness of America together again. And I hope that President-elect will do that.
Yeah, I think sometimes you're right. The extremes assume positions, and it almost becomes like professional wrestling. But I like going back in time.
You guys enjoy the extremes.
I don't know. I don't think there was anything extreme. I don't think there was anything extreme about this chat.
No, it wasn't.
And I'm glad you mentioned the Andrews sisters without singing, which that could have been very dangerous. All right. Ambassador,
it would have been.
Thank you very much. A real pleasure having you. Andrew Young, our former UN ambassador, so much more.